I was wrong. Zepbound 12.5 milligrams and Zepbound 15 milligrams. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I come before you with great humility. Having lost over 103 pounds in the last 2 years of being on Zepbound and Mounjaro and Tirzepatide compound. The combination of those is because of the shortage. And on today's episode, I want to make something right that I feel in my heart I have been wrong about. And when I am wrong, I'm the first one to admit that I'm wrong, and I was wrong. And I want to go through and explain a little something that I've shared in previous videos over the last 2 years that I wish to correct. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have note cards to keep me on track. When I first started Zepbound, which by the way was Mounjaro, when I first started, Mounjaro and Zepbound are the same thing, 2 different FDA approvals, but same dosage. Eli Lilly is the manufacturer for both. They have 2 different FDA approvals. That's the distinction, and that subsequently can affect how much you pay, your insurance, how much you pay through your insurance. But it's for type 2 diabetics versus having the obesity management component of it. So there's the distinction on that. There was no Zepbound when I started. And when I started Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams, Zepbound 2.5 milligrams, I had a tidal wave of appetite suppression, feeling full. And I've recently noticed that I have been chasing that same feeling pretty much the last two plus years of being on GLP-1 medication and trying to see if I can find that same feeling in the other doses. And I just haven't. The tidal wave that I originally had my first week, there's not been a tidal wave at all. And therefore, it's led me to make some statements. The statement is of what I've been wrong on is saying, go as slow as you can because I'm at a ceiling at Zepbound 15 milligrams, and I've been there, Mounjaro 15 milligrams, and then Zepbound 15 milligrams for the last, I've been on the medication for 2 years, but the last year plus being on that same dose because there is no higher dose to go. And where I wish to correct was I had erroneously said if I could go back and fix it, I would have gone slower. So then I would have somewhere to go, like I'm at the highest ceiling. And I believe that that's actually not true now. I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be with my medication. I'm supposed to be on this highest dose. I don't like being on the highest dose. I wish there was a higher dose for me to go for, but there's no tidal wave coming for me of this appetite suppression that I originally had on the first dose. And so therefore, being on the highest dose and was on Zepbound 12.5 milligrams and now Zepbound 15 milligrams, I'm at the highest dose. And the reason why I'm changing what I've been saying on that is I went fast. And part of that was because of the, I was on the first dose for a month, Zepbound 5 milligrams for a month, the third dose for a month, but that was because of the shortage. And subsequently wasn't long on each dose and then hit the ceiling of the doses. I think part of that is that there's different obesity spectrums. Like not all obesity patients are the same. And so me having the instantaneous success my first week for that chickadee on the left-hand side, I needed that success to break my belief system and to change my belief system. And that has been so profound because it's really given me such confidence to be like, okay, this is not like every other diet I've been doing, because every other diet I failed. And if you were here back in the keto days and low carb days, I talked a lot. I talked a lot about, I had great success with keto until I didn't. And for me, it was not sustainable, that lifestyle for me. And if that is sustainable for you, I am so happy for you. There's a recent keto influencer who's been coming out guns blazing about old keto influencers. And I'm like, hey man, like I did the best I could with what I had. Then a major thing called the pandemic hit and gained it all back and then some. And so really my mindset, that was humiliating. Like to the one creator who's been bashing other keto influencers, that was humiliating. It was very humiliating to be like, oh, I was trying to encourage others and I completely gained it all back. Like, what a fool I am. And I come to believe, no, I wasn't actually. I learned so much about that. I still love the low carb lifestyle, but that's why I'm saying I needed that initial success to have a change in my belief system, which then gave me evidence to be like, this is true, that I can do this. GLP-1 medication is literally a hormone. And so needing that hormone help essentially from it is not like any other diet I had experienced, but also being on the highest dose has given me a safety net with the appetite suppression. And that's been huge. So I'm glad I'm at the highest dose actually. And if I could go back and retract and fix all of those statements where I said, That I wish I had gone slower on the medication? No, because I probably wouldn't have lost as much weight, and I probably would have had that would have affected my mindset if I had gone slow in terms of the weight loss. And I did go slow. I mean, if I had a lot of weight stalls, which many of you guys have heard me talk about. And so getting to this point, recently, Oprah Today, and literally on Oprah Daily, just put out an article about the 16-month mark, which I've talked about this previously, that there is, if you're on Wegovy or Zepbound or any GLP-1, that there is a 16-mark phenomenon. And I'm going to do a whole separate video again. I've already done one, but another one on hitting the 16-month phenomenon with GLP-1 medication. Stuff changes. It is not the same as it once was. It's not this tidal wave. It's not. And so thinking that it's still going to be this tidal wave for me, and I'll use my I statements because we are all different. We all have different medical conditions, and that's going to change the biology of all of this. But hitting that 16-month mark for me was huge because, and even before that, because I've been on the highest dose for a while, but even hitting that mark, GLP-1s change with our body's reactions. It's not that they're not working, they do work. But for me, it's really enabled me to sharpen the skill set of my food and working out. But you know what I've needed along that way is a trusted source to discuss and having a really good healthcare provider. And for me, it's been Join Fridays. You can use the discount code QUEEN. They're a telehealth provider. They do compounds in addition to brand names, so like Wegovy or Zepbound, but they also do compounds like semaglutide. If that is something you're looking for and you're like, I don't know who to get a compound for. I used to take compounds through them because I trust them. But having someone trusted to discuss when I hit that 16 mark, marrying these two things together, for me has been so incredibly important. And I like Join Fridays a lot because they have healthcare providers in which I can do video chats with. I literally had one earlier this week. I normally can just hit refill because I've been on the same medication for a while now, so it's usually just an easy refill. But I wanted to talk to the healthcare provider because of what I'm doing. Am I doing the right things in terms of appetite suppression and muscle mass loss and like all the things? Do I need an updated blood panel? Like having a trusted source to run this by. And also I wanted to talk about like, hey, I'm feeling really weird about this. And basically it was like, you did the best that you could with what you had in lieu also of all of these shortages as well. But it was really sound, good medical advice for me. And I walked away feeling like, I've done a great job and I'm going to continue to do a great job with GLP-1 medication. And for me, I'm a lifer, probably with the information I have right now, I probably will be on this the rest of my life. But the big erroneous mistake is me thinking that I should have done this slower in terms of the medication. And there's so many people in my free encouragement group who stayed on the same dose or just one dose up that have not titrated up to these higher doses and have had great success. There's a lot of people like that. But there's a lot of people like me also who are like me, who are on the highest dose, who are like, let's get more medications out or higher doses out that can help assist because I do need more appetite suppression. But it is working. And that's the point in which I feel like I've skewed a little bit of that being on the highest dose has helped me tremendously. The fact that I'm still losing weight and the fact that I've kept weight off and I'm still losing weight. I still have 27 pounds to go, but it has been this amazing refinement and literally talking with Join Fridays. And again, I'll link all of their information in the description link below, really helped me see and feel passionate about like, no, I've done such a good job. I've done a really, really good job with this, and I have to be on the highest dose. I wouldn't begrudge somebody for being on a higher blood pressure medication dose for being on that high of a dose. So why am I thinking that me getting to this point fairly quickly or having regrets on how I got to arrived at this point with this medication is not serving me? And I've been making a mistake saying, oh, I wish I went slower with my titration. No, my dosing schedule, my Zepbound dosing schedule has been on point and has been really, really good with that. Not that it was a mistake, but I was thinking if I went slower, I would have had better success. And I don't think that's true. I actually think, and one of you beautiful viewers was the one to tell me, actually at our meetup, at the Las Vegas meetup, was like, no, you've had tremendous success. You've had tremendous success. And so going back and having like revisionist history of going slower, you probably wouldn't have had as much success as that you've had if you've done that. And so it's really enabled me. And one of the blessings of being on the highest dose and which was a year. It took me a year to get to the highest dose. So it's not like I'm like literally, what is that, 4 months in or 5 months in being like, oh, I'm on the highest dose. No, it was a year to get to that point. And then now I've been a year on for the last year on the highest dose. Is it's enabled me, because I have that safety net, to change my food habits. Just was in the kitchen with my hot husband making some lunch, and we were yip yapping, and I was like, oh, I gotta get some more protein in. I was literally logging my food. I was tracking my protein and my calories. My husband's like, it's so awesome watching you do this. And like, I felt such pride in it because it has forced me to change my eating habits. Had I not struggled, but it's not been a struggle, but it feels like a struggle, but it's not, to slow down and really evaluate my eating habits, my food habits, I wouldn't have had these permanent lifestyle changes. Because for me, my friends, that's what, like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I'm gonna get on it just to try to fit in a cute wedding dress or whatever. And if that's you, that came off judgy, and I'm not trying to be judgy, so I apologize if it came out judgy, and I apologize for that. But for me, with obesity management, like, why am I judging that person? You do whatever you want. I apologize. But for me, the obesity management of it is it's forced me to really look at the food that I've been consuming. If I had still had that tidal wave, going back to the very beginning, that tidal wave of appetite suppression, I would still be eating nachos just in a smaller portion. I would still be eating pizza, which I still eat pizza, but I have that, it's different. My eating habits are different. You know what we have in my freezer? We're gonna have some steak later on and a little bit of scallops and a whole bunch of vegetables. And that's gonna be dinner. Cooked in a beautiful olive oil or avocado oil with delicious spices and seasoning on it. It's gonna be amazing. What I had for lunch, amazing fruit with my protein, like all this Greek yogurt, like really healthful, good stuff that I've been trained by a dietitian, my Avengers team, Avengers Assemble, to help come up with these. But changing my food habits would not have done had I not gone slow. And changing my workout habits. If you guys did not see my Instagram story yesterday, and I wish I had it to pop up on my camera, of me lifting weights. Let me see if I can pull it up to show you guys. Y'all, I'm lifting weights in leggings. I don't know if that's gonna show up or not. Who is that beautiful lady? That's me. And literally the video of me, hold on, let's see if I can pull it up. I don't wanna have the sound on it, but literally the video of me lifting weights. Like, that's me. I wish I had it on the computer screen. I'll get it next time, I'll be on the computer screen. But literally, I'm lifting weights. Like, that would not have happened had I not hit this wall of like, I'm not to my goal weight yet. And I know so many, and this is also not to say the counterpoint of many of you are at your goal weight and you're still doing these lifestyle changes. But Eli Lilly tells us in the literature, we have to make lifestyle changes with our eating habits and with working out. And for me, they need to be sustainable, long-term lifestyle habits with food and working out. And so lifting like that, I pray every day, I'm like, please just let this be permanent, but it is, because it's week after week. I'm building the evidence and stacking the evidence to change my workout habits. I literally yesterday got home, we went out to eat, and it was around 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I gotta go walk my 2 miles, and I gotta go lift. Today's the day for both of those, and I'm going to go do it. And thankfully, my husband helped take over some of the slack and the load for me to be able to do that, which I'm so grateful for. But being able to work on those things is because I'm on the highest dose. And I don't think if I went slower, I would have had the success with my weight loss that I've had. And then also the success that has now come because I've been building skill sets of working out and changing my eating habits. It's taken me, I'm a turtle, y'all. I'm a turtle through and through. But turtles win at the end. If you read the race, the turtles do win. Through and through, I would not have had the ability to work on these things, but also I am so much further ahead because I've accumulated skill set. It's a skill set. It's skill-based. Literally learning how to cook and working out, it's skill-based. Really, it is. Like, literally, it is. And my grandpa, bless his heart, I think of him often. He lived in rural Virginia, and when he was near the end of his life, he lived in an active adult community. And so they had there, he was in a scooter, and they're like, you can come do chair yoga. And my grandpa was like, no, but thanks. I mean, he was so funny. And then he's like, you want some fiddle faddle? He had some like back at his like room. It was so cute. I was like, actually, I do. The genetics are strong in the fiddle faddle arena. But I was laughing, but the point that I'm trying to make is that there was all these people in the class who were in wheelchairs doing chair yoga. That there is something for most of us that we can physically do, even on a small, that's skill set based. That is skill set based of learning these new skills of how to lift and build muscle and learn how to walk miles and miles and miles and find it enjoyable. And like, all of that is skill-based, meaning I can learn it at any point, even if I'm older. I have a lot of people in my neighborhood who are super fit and do like CrossFit and all this stuff. They're amazing. And I'm so proud of all of them. They're very inspiring people. And I realized I was like, I could be one of those people. I just need to learn the skills. I'm just not there yet. But I could be, and I will be with my own skill set because I'm practicing this. And so the point that I'm trying to say of where I was wrong, and I really want to make sure I'm being super clear on this, is that I said getting to the point of I wish I'd gone slower with my dosing schedule and that I didn't. No, being the way that I was got me to this point, and like I said, you got to talk to your own healthcare provider. But my healthcare provider blessed with all of this. It took a year to get to the highest dose, and then another year on that dose. That it served me really well beyond this highest dose. If I had even been a couple months behind, would that really have made a big difference? Someone asked me that too recently. They're like, really, would that have made a difference? Maybe you'd lose an extra 1 or 2 pounds. But in the scheme of things, with your total weight loss, 1 or 2 pounds, does that really matter? I said, when you put it that way, a pound or two, like, okay, you're right. It wasn't this monumental thing. Now, there's such a thing as, and I know some of you are watching that are hypo responders. They're hyper responders and hypo responders. Hyper responders was like the gal when I was on Oprah who got interviewed. I love her. Her name's Amy. She's sitting in the front row right there. She was a hyper responder. She lost over 100 pounds fairly quickly on Mounjaro. I would classify I'm a hypo responder, but many of you said I'm probably not a hypo responder, but meaning it's taken me a longer time. I've lost 103 pounds in 2 years. To me, that seems freaking slow, but from which if you add that out, that's, what is that? 100 weeks, that's a pound a week losing. That's right in line with where I'm supposed to be. And when you phrase it that way, because if you lose a half a pound to 2 pounds per week, well, when you phrase it that way, then I'm actually not a hypo responder. I am normal. But if some people are watching are hypo responders, is it part of just the genetic makeup? Because some people just don't respond to GLP-1 medications. They may take these higher doses, or there's more science that's coming undone. Or may require these skill set changes like the ones I've been talking about. If you had asked me a year and a half ago, 6 months into this journey, some of the things that I've learned, I don't know if I would have been able to do what I'm doing now. Excuse me. It's taken the evidence building to break those false beliefs in my brain, but I've needed to build and stack the evidence on it that I consciously or unconsciously don't think I could have done a year and a half ago. That it's taken me to this point to gradually and slowly see the lifestyle changes. Some of y'all are quick, and I love that. But comparison is a thief of joy. And if you're comparing yourself to somebody else, if you're losing it super quick or super slow, please don't compare yourself. For me, that's been one of my biggest things recently is I've got to put my blinders on and not compare. I've got to take the encouragement. I've got to take my daily medicine of being encouraged and things like that. But where the encouragement can get kind of skewed is if it makes me feel less than or bad about myself. That's not like, no, like, let's not do that. Let's encourage each other and cheer each other on and stay in our own lanes. Right? Let's stay in our own lanes with our own journey, because we do all have, I don't share all my medical conditions on the internet. I don't know about you. Some people like me to. They're like, well, what's the exact number on your scale? And I'm like, I've never shared that. Like, and it's a valid question because a lot of content creators do. I just don't. I haven't. I hope that I will. I pray I get to that point. When you know that I say my weight on the internet, you know it will be a major milestone. I am just simply not there yet. I'm not that comfortable yet. I hope that I am, but I'm not. And the point in which why I'm trying to say all this is that changing these things has taken time, and being slow with it and being okay with it being slow. The media likes to, these are miracle drugs. These are miracle drugs for me, literally, like the blessing in which I live in the lifetime to be able to have these. Oh my gosh. I fully recognize that and the privilege to continue to be able to be on this medication. I trust and believe I fully get that. But it's also taken a lot of hard work on my part to continue to keep showing up, doing all of these things to help get me to the next level. Because I want to, like being able to travel. And is this the one I wanted to show? No, that's not the one I wanted to show. Is it this one? Being able to travel and sit in a seatbelt on an airplane because I can clip it. Being able to go horseback riding because I am at a weight that won't crush a horse. Being able to do all of these cool things. There's a ton of other things, and most importantly, being a good wife and mom. But I needed this to be able to start changing my habits. And the main point I think of this video is, one, to admit that I was wrong, and two, to help hopefully encourage you for your changes, for your workout habits to change. And workout could even mean just walking. I mean that. And changing food habits. For me, the food habits have been way harder, and that's what I focused in on first, because that's, after all, what this medication can really, really help with. Once I felt like I got some of that under control, then I added in the workout habits. If you're not to the workout habits, then don't do it. Focus in on the food. I focused in on the food for a long time. I don't know how long, but a long time. Long enough to know that I had a lot of untangling of unhealthy habits that needed to get untangled. And so, not rushing, I'm not encouraging people to rush, but I also encourage that I need to be on the dose that I'm on. I absolutely require the highest dose, and I cannot wait till the next dose comes out. But getting to this point, I'm glad I didn't delay it. And talking with Join Fridays, because they're so knowledgeable, they've been so helpful for me, like clarifying, they are truly the industry leader for obesity management, truly. So I encourage, use the discount code Join Fridays there. I highly, highly recommend their stuff. And also realizing that the tidal wave that I had at the beginning is not going to come back. I want it to, but it's not. It's not. And also recognizing, and like I said, I'm going to go into another show more in depth on the 16-month mark about why this is such a big deal. And if you're at that point, go watch my other show on that, and I'll do a follow-up show too on this. But that there is something magical, but not magical, about the 16-month mark of being on these medications. Our bodies are adapting and changing, and many people say to come off of the medications. I will not do that. To me, that is dangerous. You would not tell somebody who's on blood pressure medication to get off their blood pressure medication. You would not tell somebody with type 1 diabetes, oh, just stop taking that insulin. Like, these things, no. So I'm not getting on, no. But some people that's worked really well for, but studies are coming out also, and I don't have, you guys know I'm a stickler for citing my sources. I don't have a source to cite on that. But what I'm gonna say is that people coming off the medication have a harder time with weight loss after that. Some studies are showing that now. Do I have a source to cite on that? Absolutely, I do not. So take that for face value, that I don't have a source. And you guys know I'm anal about start citing my sources. But I hope this video has been helpful. Hopefully it's been helpful, and hopefully my experience, strength, and hope will help encourage you to talk to your healthcare provider or switch over to Join Fridays. Use the discount code QUEEN if you want to get a compound or telehealth with obesity management. And they have a ton of new services, which is really exciting as well. I love them so much. They've been such great health providers for me. And since October 2023, I mean, it's a long time, a long time. Our emoji of the day. We do emojis of the day too. It helps me to get to know you better because I truly do care. Today it's going to be a gold star because you're a superstar, superstar. And then I will use that also as our bat signal. I'll pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I will uplift you in positive thought. And your question of the day, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? To me, I'm going to go to church. I need to go get some positivity up in my spirit because that will help propel the rest of everything else. So that's my big goal today. I have not, how many steps have I walked? I've only walked 3,300, which is about a mile and a half. So I got to get to stepping because I like to walk at least 5 miles a day. So with 10,000 steps in a day. My friends, I love you guys so super much. Hopefully this has been helpful. Sound off in the comments down below. And by the way, I see y'all on countessofshopping.com. Thank you so much for all the kind words. We are doing a massive facelift over there. The final facelift will be happening at over the next few weeks. It's going to be by the end of February, it will be fully updated, but it's already started. Countessofshopping.com, your GLP-1 news source and also lifestyle source. Go visit there as much. Ideally, there's updates going on. So we're really excited, really, really excited that here on YouTube and countessofshopping.com and in my free encouragement group to help encourage you. Because I know sometimes you don't want, some people are like, I don't want to get on Facebook. Great, go to dailycountessofshopping.com and get fed there and get fed here. And sometimes if you're at work, you can't listen to a YouTube video. So hopefully there'll be multiple sources to help you stay daily. Daily, you would not bathe. So it's like daily, we got to cleanse our brains, like how we cleanse our bodies, we got to cleanse our brains. And for me on this GLP-1 journey, it's so easy to slip into old habits. Even though I have appetite suppression and the silencing of food noise, I still need to work on these habits and still have areas to grow. And that's why the daily repetition helps. So I love you guys so super much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessing because life is delicious. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.